Okay, we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back from a little bit of a break. Been away in Portugal all week, had a lovely time, and now we're back. And Erik Ten Hag looks like he's about to get the sack. So, yeah, this is an interesting story that's been developing across this last couple of days. It's been developing across the last number of months. If we follow the story in its complete state and its in its totality, and it's a very interesting one because I think it's not a good time, and I feel like the natural excuse and the natural thing a lot of people are going to go to is we're going to see people talking about this being an INEOS decision to leak this, or it's coming from within the club. I don't think it's their plan necessarily to have this come out the night before the cup final. Not from everything that I've seen about this new ownership that they're looking to do, the kind of regime they're looking to install. It doesn't seem like something that they would do, and it does beg the question where is this coming from. A lot of talk saying that this could be coming from within the club. You're looking at players, you're looking at players' staff. It could be coming from Erik Ten Hag. There's a lot of stories, a lot of confliction going about, and I want to go through this from top to bottom and clear up as much as we can. First and foremost, according to some journalists today, it has been reported that Erik Ten Hag was told after the Arsenal match that he would be sacked as Manchester United manager. Now, I feel like this is something that would have broke at the time, because there has been strong links between Erik Ten Hag's agency, the SACKED agency, and a lot of stories coming out around players from within the dressing room. And look, we've seen some pretty damning reports coming out after those Arsenal defeats. The Crystal Palace defeat in particular was a bad one. A lot of negativity coming out, and it does beg the question: what's going to happen here with Erik Ten Hag? When was this decided? When is it going to happen? And it looks like it's been a long time in the works. Now, it's been reported weeks and weeks ago that INEOS had made their mind up, but that they were keeping everything very hush-hushed. And I think they're looking at it from the point of view that if they go with Erik Ten Hag, they have to give him a 3-year contract. He needs 3 years at this point to take over. Do they want him for the next 3 years? Because what we need as a football club is stability, a long-term plan, and a long-term future. It's not as simple as giving Ten Hag another season to see how it goes, because then you're giving INEOS another 12 months before they really get started at their own project. So we may as well have kept the Glazers in that case. So this is a 3-year project. This is how the club are looking at it. So from that point of view, I can kind of get where they're going at with Erik Ten Hag, because last season was a very good season. This season, massive steps backwards. And yeah, it's not all been Erik Ten Hag's fault, but there does have to be an element of responsibility when we have an 8th place finish in the Premier League, a minus goal difference. These are things we can't just ignore. Hello, good to see Born. Thanks for joining in, buddy. For anyone who goes wondering, I have been away all week in Portugal, so that explains the little bit of a suntan I've got. It's not much under these lights, and plus I'm as white as it gets anyway. GK said Radcliffe won a top 4 FA Cup. I don't think it's even about that, buddy. I think it's genuinely just they want to go with their own guy, and I understand it. It's not the first time, and it will not be the last time we see ownerships do this. We've seen it at Chelsea, we've seen it at City, we've seen it across the board. They do like to bring their own people in, and if they have decided that this is what they want to do, then let's see where it goes, because I do think there's been issues with Ten Hag, but it's interesting. It is interesting. Jeremy said, I think he was told he would be sacked after Arsenal. He would have gone for the Bayern or Barca job. Yeah, I would agree with that. Bayern Munich are set to appoint Vincent Kompany. You can't really tell me that Erik Ten Hag is a worse manager than Vincent Kompany. You can't really tell me that he wouldn't be on an equivalent with Hansi Flick in the year 2024. Obviously, Flick had a very good Bayern Munich career, but then it tailed off. Germany was a bit of a disaster for Hansi Flick as well. So, yeah, I mean, Ten Hag would be up for those jobs. Like, make no mistake about it. He would have been talked at for the Ajax job as well. There's no way that wouldn't have been talked about. And I don't know. I find it kind of fishy. I think this is something that the club have wanted to keep under wraps. It's come out from somewhere within the footballing club as it is. Bart is down there. There's something fishy. Jacob Steinberg is a reporter for London-based clubs, mainly West Ham and Chelsea. I think McKenna inadvertently leaked it by refusing to talk to Chelsea. That could be an interesting point as well there from Bart, and that's maybe something worth considering. But it does look, no matter what happens tomorrow, win or loss, that Erik Ten Hag will be sacked as Manchester United manager. And Joe, I'm all for it, and the reason I'd say that I'm all for it is I'm glad they're making a decision. I'm glad that they're not hinging it on the result of a one-off match, because that's not how a good ownership should be doing it. If they're going to make the change, they have to make it, and they have to make their mind up based upon the last 2 seasons and whether or not they want to give a 3-year contract to Erik Ten Hag. That's what they have to base it off, not if we win the FA Cup. And I'm glad for going for that. And on the same hand, if they decided to keep Erik Ten Hag regardless of what happened in the FA Cup, I would be glad, because that is a long-term plan being put into place, and that's what we need. That's definitely what we need. I have Bart down below saying there's an argument to be made for his departure. The timing is insane. Yeah, look, the timing is such that it's not come from anybody within the club in good standing. It's either rooted in someone who has links to the press and who has been going after Erik Ten Hag, because these stories have been coming out in the last couple of weeks. No doubt about it. It's not in INEOS' interest to reveal their hands, and that's not something they've done throughout their tenure at Manchester United so far. And it's an interesting one. We are moving people out, and we are clearing. We're clearing out, and you've got players leaving. You've got managers seemingly leaving. You've got directors of football, some of the long-standing staff of the club. That. It very much does feel like a brand new Manchester United moving forward into the future. And I guess it's kind of what we've needed for a long time. But look, fundamentally for me, I have no problem with a new ownership coming in, installing their own sporting system with their own sporting control, their own directors and their own plan, putting it all into motion, building up a long-term and sustainable future for Manchester United. And if they decide they want Erik Ten Hag as the manager, then I'll back it. If they decide they want to sack him, I'll back it. If they want to go with Kieran McKenna as a head coach to coach the team, I'll back it. If they want to go for Tuchel or Pochettino, I guess I'll back it. We can all have our own thoughts and our own feelings on it, but to me, I just think this is the smartest thing that we can do. INEOS have come in, and what they have done is taken control of the sporting side of the club in a long-term direction. They want to bring their own manager in. They've not. I don't think this is going to be a rinse and repeat type situation. I think that this is an area of responsibility maybe across the board. And yes, Erik Ten Hag definitely does have some responsibility to bear for our season, absolutely. Now I've got 21 votes on today's poll. I have been asking you guys predictions for the FA Cup tomorrow, win or loss. At the moment, 38% going for the win, 62% for the draw. GK said defensively stable and a nice manager is needed. Yes, absolutely. We can't be going into the season conceding more shots on goal than Derby County's team that got relegated in 07-08. We can't be going in and finishing league seasons with minus goal differences after 38 matches. That's not sustainable. Bart is on there. If Ten Hag has to go, so be it, but sell the toxic players who throw their toys out of the pram and moan every 18 months. Yeah, look, there's definitely bad eggs in the United dressing room. I don't think it's across the board, and I don't think this is a case of when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was thrown under a bus or when Jose Mourinho was thrown under the bus. But what's interesting is these group of players, no doubt about it, haven't really give up on Erik Ten Hag, and that's the difference here. This isn't the same old rinse and repeat, and I know we want to make those links and we want to say, look, this is the players, another manager going for the players, but when you look at Louis van Gaal's team, there's only 3 players really at the club from that era who played. You have Marcus Rashford, you have Anthony Martial and Luke Shaw. Martial and Shaw have not been available practically all season this year. Even from that Jose Mourinho team, you've got very few first teamers who are there. So it is a brand new cohort of players. And yeah, maybe you can say that the culture isn't right. It breeds laziness, it breeds ineptitude, it breeds an air of entitlement. And yeah, Job, maybe that's absolutely correct. And that's something else we need to work on as well. Bart said, if Ten Hag has... Oh, sorry, I was saying that. Look how Barada's announcement was handled without a murmur, press or social media. That's how a good, cohesive team should operate. Exactly. That's why I think this isn't coming out from INEOS, because they brought in Barada with no real fuss. They brought in Jason Wilcox, again, no real fuss. There's been fuss over Dan Ashworth. That's not been ideal, but I guess that's exactly where this here one's come from. I think someone has thrown their toys out of the pram somewhere, and it's not looking good. Bart said McKenna is a really talented guy, but this is a step too far for him currently. He should sit tight or go to Brighton. It's one of those. I don't blame Kieran McKenna at all, because his Ipswich team is very good, and they've got promoted, and fair play to them. But he is right now in a position where he can go back to where it all started and manage the biggest team in England. Like, any manager would take that. Any manager would absolutely take that on, and it's different because it does seem like we're heading down that role of having a coach rather than a manager. It's not going to be Kieran McKenna being the man in charge of the entire club. It's not going to be the figurehead of the club. It's very much going to be a director-based system. It's very much going to be a modern sporting system put into Manchester United. And what happens beyond that, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But it does look like Kieran McKenna's job, if it is to be him, will be to come in, to coach the team, get them to play a certain way of football, develop the players, develop the young players. I have every faith that he can do that. Do I think he's experienced enough to lead a team in to glory and win big honours? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I do guess we'll find out, but it's definitely not a case that he's underqualified in any way, in my opinion, anyway. GK said we need Ten Hag, man, don't sack. I just think it's happened, man. Chrissy Corey, absolute joke. Expecting instant success on a club that is rotten to the core is ridiculous. We're in a long-term pain and heartache. Yeah, we are long-term pain, but you know, I get it from where INEOS are looking at it, because they're looking at it from the point of view that this is a 3-year project, right? They're hiring a manager for 3 years. It makes no sense to go with Erik Ten Hag for a season and then maybe make a change, because then if he's not the right guy, then all you've done is just add 12 months onto your onto your project. You've made that 3-year project a 4-year project, and you've probably added 150, 200 million pound of extra signings that mightn't be how you want to play. Ultimately, you know, this is a call that's been made by the sporting wing of the club. So it will be your Baratas, it will be your Wilcoxes, and we've seen talks about them auditing training, auditing Ten Hag, you know, speaking about it and looking at it, and I don't think we can really have too much complaints. I really can't say we're surprised about this. I don't know. I think McKenna could be a really good shot for us if that is who we end up going. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Anyway, I have Bourne down there. The manager currently gives me confidence we can challenge City. No, it's one of those, you know, you're going up against a team really that is absolutely just imperious at the moment, and we can't challenge City next season, right? Regardless of whether it's Ten Hag, if it's Kieran McKenna, if it's me managing the team, we can't go out there and challenge him next season. You know, that's just not going to happen. That's just not feasible. So you have a long-term project. You have a project for 2 or 3 years. It's not ideal to be going on to yet another rebuild, but we have to give this time, and we have to go with this, in my opinion, at this moment in time. The reason why I say that is because we need this. There is no other way around it. We cannot simply jump from manager to manager, manager to manager. It's time that we set up a style of football. It's time that we had a club-wide approach to how we're going to play on the pitch. And what we do then is, if the manager's not working, we can take them out, we can bring someone in, and it means we don't have to do another rebuild, because the manager you've brought in will be able to get the most out of the players we've got, build upon that, and improve it. You know, that's kind of what we want to be going for. It's an interesting way of running a club, but it's a very modern way. You look at what Liverpool have done. Jurgen Klopp has left that club after, 10 years or so in charge. Absolutely fantastic what he's done there, completely transformed that club. But they went for someone in the same mould. They went for Arne Slot, who will play a similar style of football to what Jurgen Klopp did, who will have a lot of the same fundamentals, so that whenever he comes into Liverpool, they're not going to have to go and buy an entirely new team. He's going to be able to work with a lot of the players they have there, bring some of his own men in. Yes, absolutely, they'll have targets and they'll bring their own players in, and they have a more sustainable way of operating. It'll be the same whenever Pep leaves Man City. They will go for someone who can get the most out of the players they have, who will play a similar style of football, so that they're not pivoting a hard 180, so that they're not making massive jumps from left to right, trying to find the right path. Got to stick with the path, got to go with it. That's what I think, and that's what I thought for a long, long time. Anyway, Bart said, is the timing of the sacking worse than Pochettino's harsh dismissal? Yeah, look, and that's why I think it can't come from within INEOS. This is why I think this is coming from either a player, it's either coming from an agent, or it's coming from an agency. Because this timing does not work for anybody. This is not a productive timing. INEOS will want to win that trophy tomorrow. Manchester United will want to lift the FA Cup tomorrow. Erik Ten Hag will want to lift the FA Cup tomorrow. This is coming from someone else, and this is coming at a bad time, because it's just going to disrupt it. And it's interesting because we've ended up in the exact same situation, the exact same parallel as what Louis van Gaal ended up in whenever he was manager. Our last Dutch manager, second season, absolute bust. In Van Gaal's era, we couldn't score enough goals. In Erik Ten Hag's era, we just keep conceding goals. And ultimately, they're going into an FA Cup final with it likely being their last match. And yeah, Erik Ten Hag getting sacked, it's not what I wanted at the start of the season. I was very, very happy with Erik Ten Hag last season. I was happy with the appointment, and I still think that there's a really good footballing asset in there, and I don't think that you're going to see the best of him at Manchester United. It might be that his style of football isn't compatible with what we want to go with long term. It might be that he goes elsewhere and has a lot of success. He might go back to the Netherlands. He might take a while out. He might take a sabbatical year and end up back in management. We don't know what's going to happen with Erik Ten Hag, but it doesn't look like he's going to be at Manchester United any longer, and it does look like we're making that change. And it's interesting, it's exciting, it's a little bit nerve-wracking as well. We're putting a lot of faith into INEOS getting the right people in charge. Your Baradas, your Ashworths, your Wilcoxes. Talk about Yap Sam coming in as well as some kind of link within the club. So that's pretty interesting, and it's a lot of faith in it. It really is. Bart said Erik deserved a better send-off. Ideally, I would have wanted him to resign rather than see him ridiculed by the press, by some of his players, disrespected his authority. Yeah, it's true. Leman said that's why it's all over for us when Radcliffe is given the club and not Sheikh Yassim. It's clear now. Nah, I mean, Yassim never had the money for it, man. Like, I would rather have Radcliffe, who had the money to pay for it. Chrissy said, how will anyone know if he's the right guy, though? How will they know if anyone's the right guy or not? It's one of those, they're speaking, they brought the people in to make these calls for them. And that's the difference here. That is the difference. It isn't Radcliffe making these calls. It's not Dave Brailsford making these calls. It isn't Jean-Claude Blanc making these calls. It's not those guys. It's the sporting brands that they've brought in. It's Barada, it's Ashworth, it's Wilcox. It's people who have years of experience working within football as directors of football, technical directors, CEOs. That's who's making the call. These are the people who have been empowered at Manchester United to make these calls and to run our football club on the sporting side. That's the first thing that INEOS really learned with Nice. They came in, they tried to take immediate sporting control there themselves. It didn't work because they didn't have the expertise, they didn't have the knowledge at the time. And what they did, they went out and they hired some real footballing people to take over. After completing audits, they looked at who needs replaced, who needs to go, and they brought the best in class in. Hopefully, we are doing the same right now at Manchester United to an even higher degree. And I have a lot more faith in Ashworth, in Barada, in Wilcox, etc., to make these big calls than what I do have Joel Glazer, Ed Woodward, Richard Arnold, John Murda. So, we've no guarantee that McKenna will be the right guy or that Erik Ten Hag's not the right guy. We've no guarantee of that, but I think we have a much better chance of landing at the right answer now than what we have had. Nothing's ever going to be foolproof. Nothing's ever going to be guaranteed. Unfortunately, there isn't a magic wand or like a big star sitting over the right manager's head or anything. It's going to be us hopefully working towards it, and I think we've got a better chance of getting that right under this ownership, and hopefully we'll be able to develop from that. It's not ideal timing, it's really bad timing in my opinion, and we still have an FA Cup. I don't want to be sitting here talking about managers getting sacked. I don't want to be sitting here talking about Barada and Wilcox and everybody coming in and making these big calls. I wouldn't be talking about United playing City tomorrow. I want to talk about some kind of a chance to salvage the season, about Bruno Fernandes' heartfelt letter to Manchester United fans today that was posted. That's what I want to talk about. I really didn't want to be talking about this before the FA Cup final, not the night before. This is bad timing. It doesn't suit anybody, and I'm just hoping that the players will have the professionalism to go out and play tomorrow. Le Mans said, oh, I've seen Le Mans. Bourne said, yeah, Klopp's a solid choice, but I don't think he can betray Liverpool. Bart says Erik deserved a better send-off. Yeah, true. Chrissy said no one would be given the real chance at the club if they have a bad season. Last season wasn't awful. This season was rebuilt as a long one after a bad season. It's just one of those. it's not just based upon this season, it's based upon the fact that we have a long-term project. And I think what their point of view is, if they had to sit down right now and give a 3-year contract to somebody to transform the football on the pitch, solely to work on that there, would they give it to Erik Ten Hag? And it looks like they've made the decision that they won't. That does seem to be where we've ended up. Liman says the way Ten Hag has been dealt with by INEOS is the same during the Glazers. Decision is good, but not the timing. No, that's why I think it's come out from someone. GK said both Kieran McKenna should come in, joint managers to be like Salford City all over again. Jarl said very interesting stuff coming out. The one that makes me think it will not be McKenna is the Yanaj tweet that Ten Hag knew who would be gone before the Arsenal game. It's one of those, because I think we would have seen bigger links to Bayern Munich or to Barcelona if that was the case. I'm not too sure if I believe that. At this moment in time. What have I got here as well? Bourne saying that sending that spinner alone is a sackable offence. Look, apparently a lot of it's coming out from him, so we'll find out what that means. We'll find out how true that is, I guess, in the coming days. But it's definitely a very interesting time for Manchester United fans, and the McKenna links have really been growing the last couple of days. Ever since there was the link to Chelsea, to Brighton, that's really changed things around, and that seems to have really made United's mind up that they've had to act quickly for this. You also said we know De Zerbi contract was paid out. Someone did this. He's not joining a club. I think United did, and that would make sense. When we seen that the club who paid out De Zerbi's contract wanted high confidentiality, that would make sense if it was to be United. And there's no guarantee it's going to be McKenna, but I think based upon what we're reading at the minute, based upon what's coming out, it does very, very heavily look like it's going to be Kieran McKenna to be Manchester United's choice. If it is De Zerbi, it's De Zerbi. If it's Tuchel, it's Tuchel. If it's McKenna, it's McKenna. If it's Thomas Frank, it's Thomas Frank. I've no real issue with any of those managerial appointments. I think they're all good shouts. I don't want to see Southgate or Potter, but they're a long way down the list apparently. Thomas down there, INEOS have a track record of being best in class. Not development. Look, what they're going to do is just bring these guys in, it's not necessarily INEOS looking to develop Dan Ashworth or Barada. They're bringing them in because of their expertise and saying, here's the reins, now run with it. Go with it. Run with it. Let's see what happens. But I want the focus to be on the cup final tomorrow. I don't want it to be on this. If we have made the mind up to sack Erik Ten Hag, do it on Monday. Give it the weekend, regardless of the result. Give it Saturday, give it Sunday. But we've ended up in the same position we were in under Louis van Gaal. Getting sacked in the tunnel after the cup final. That's not what we want to do. That was an unclassy move by this club, and I really hope that these stories coming out are premature, but it does look like the cat's out of the bag. That's it. But it's going to come down. It's going to come down to competence, and I think that's what INEOS are after. They're after competency here. We're going to find out what that means, I guess. GK says manager secondly, but we need solid signings, no stopgaps. Yeah, absolutely, we do. We need the coach to come in. We needed top quality signings, not just big money signings, but players who are actually going to come in here and really make a big difference to how we play football on the pitch, to the levels they can bring, to the levels they have. That's just really going to be important. Rajat said 4-2 Man City. Don't want De Zerbi. He's not convincing. I don't think it's going to be De Zerbi, to be honest, buddy. I really don't. Radcliffe wants ready-made. I'm sure he wants people who are experienced and proven, I guess, but I don't know. We're going to find out. Tom said they can't secure an email for best in class. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened with that email story. Like, it's kind of all it almost seems like it was kind of a ploy or whatever. Cressy said no matter who gets the job, I pity them. A lot of hate and scrutiny. It's one of those, I think I think we got a lot to learn in the next couple of weeks and months, and it's going to be a very interesting time for the club. Where we're taking it forward to, where we're going to be going. Ultimately, it's going to be up to INEOS to try and make this right, and to make sure that this is firstly the right decision we're making. Secondly, that it works out in the long run. And I guess we're going to find that anyway. You're also not 100% sure Ten Hag has been sacked. One very good reporter who said it. Yeah, it was Jacob Steinberg, but a lot of online sources are really running with this story at the minute, and I think it's going to happen. Bourne said Van Gaal warned Ten Hag about United. He did. To be fair, he did. It's one of those, like, I think genuinely, if INEOS came in 2 years before, or if Erik Ten Hag was at Ajax right now, he would be very, very high up on their register or on their list of potential managerial opponents. He would be very, very high up there. And if Erik Ten Hag was still at Ajax right now, he could very well become the next Manchester United manager. But there has been talk, and there has been stories, and there has been issues. Going back to March, going back, about transfer control, about long running powers that Ten Hag has had at the club. That all of a sudden he's going to lose under this new ownership. This has been a long running story, and these stories have been going out here for a very long time. So whether or not that's a big part of it, I always felt at the time they were true. To be honest, I always felt that Ten Hag has stumbled into a position where he's got a lot of say, a lot of power, and a lot of ability to make changes. I really did think that there, and it's kind of like, what are we gonna do with that there? Like, is he gonna take that step back? Is he gonna relinquish the powers and the control he's had, over his own destiny at the club? Because he's got a lot of his own players, he's had a lot of his own signings, and he's had a lot of his own way. Ultimately, I don't know. I guess it's gonna come. It's gonna come out in the coming weeks, in the coming months. Really what's happened or where this has come from. But seemingly, seemingly it's just over. Like that. That's all I can go with. GK says small clubs do scouting signings. We need to step up and make the right choices. We do. We need to make the right shots. Absolutely. Razat said weak foundation of a club is Rashi and Shaw. Get him gone. I don't know, because a lot of people online saying it's Anthony, but I'll reserve judgment on that. I guess we'll find out upon that at some point, but who knows? Like, honestly, who knows at this point with this Manchester United team. I don't know. It does look like Ten Hag's going to get sacked. It does look like we're going to be making that change. But look, I guess we'll switch paces. We'll get talking about something that's concrete, that we know is definitely going to happen tomorrow. And that's an FA Cup final. So, United versus City, it's going to be an interesting one tomorrow. We're heavy underdogs for tomorrow's game. And really, who can see us winning tomorrow? Like, it's a 50-50 match. Anything can happen on the day. And anything can happen. I think it's unlikely. I think we are the big underdog, and we're definitely not going to be favoured for tomorrow's match. I guess, look, if we want to look in terms of team news, there's some interesting ones. I think Harry Maguire's out tomorrow. Hopefully that doesn't mean Casemiro at centre back. We really don't want to say that. I think genuinely, if Varane's fit, I would give him the game. If Martinez is fit, I would give him a game. There's nothing to lose in playing those players. Varane has already confirmed he's going to leave the club. Martinez, if he gets injured tomorrow, he gets injured tomorrow. It's one of those air ones, because he already will. It's the end of the season, so I'd be inclined to take that risk, and I'd be inclined to play them, to be honest with you. So, hopefully Casemiro's not centre back. Hopefully we do see Amrabat in midfield. I think it gives a nice balance in there with Manu, and it all depends, what happens beyond that there. We're not going to hold most of possession tomorrow. Hopefully we see Højlund up front. Hopefully we can attack those areas and attack him behind and get him running. I think Rashford probably plays tomorrow. Hopefully he can have a big match. We know he can do it against City. He scored already this season against them. Hopefully he can do it again. I don't know, though. I don't know. If we're looking at the travelling squad for tomorrow, I'll quickly write this out for you guys. It's Onana, it's Bayindir, it's Heaton, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Evans, Campbell and Lindelof. No excuse at all to see Casemiro at centre-back then. Then we have Casemiro, Eriksen, McTominay, Amrabat, Mount and Bruno. Ahmad, Anthony, Garnacho, Rashford, and Højlund. So there is no Anthony Martial in the squad. He's played his last game. Do we want to see Ahmad play tomorrow? I think so. I think you could go Ahmad, Højlund, and Rashford up front. I feel like that's a decent forward line. But, you know, I'd be willing to stick in Garnacho, of course, as well. Anyways, what are the comments? Sniper Patch Onana cost Ten Hag his job. If he stuck with De Gea, we would have finished top 4 or 5. No, we wouldn't. It's not. Andre Onana hasn't cost him his job. It's it's more the style of football. It's more everything that goes on in front of Andre Onana that's led to us having more shots on goal than the worst team in Premier League history. That's led to us not scoring enough goals. And, you know, if you want to look at more reasons why maybe, you know, it's not his. Sorry, whose fault it is. You know, you have to look collectively at the players. You have to look at Ten Hag's tactics as well. Maybe you look at Anthony. I feel like that's a big blemish. You know, there's been trouble off the pitch. There's been trouble on the pitch with his performances, the price tag, how insistent we were to get him, and apparently that's the source of a lot of leaks. I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm not some sort of insider. We can just kind of read into it, and it does look like Anthony's a problem. Rajat said may have to pay nothing for Ashworth if they can't find that email. Yeah, look, he says that he was sacked. You know, he said he was sacked. Rajat said how was Porto trip? Yeah, Porto was really good, buddy. Had a really good time. Nice to get a little break and all from work, and been pretty good week anyway. Look, we were at Porto and then back today. Back in work, all caught up, and then we got bank holiday weekend. So it's nice. It's nice. They'll be out for a couple of pints tomorrow to watch it. Gregory wants to see Anthony start the game. I don't. I really want to see Ahmad play. Chrissy said, "What's my starting 11?" I would go Onana, Dalot, Varane, Martinez. I don't think Shaw's fit, so it'll probably have to be Wan-Bissaka. You probably put Dalot at left back. Then midfield, I guess it's going to be Casemiro. I wouldn't play him personally. Manu and Bruno, and then probably Højlund, Ahmad, and Rashford, because I just think the levels from Garnacho have fallen off in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know. I know Rashford's had his problems this season. I know we've been very frustrated watching him, and he's had a bad season, but he is one of those players who always seem to score in big matches, especially against City, especially against you know, your Liverpools or your Arsenals. He does tend to just pop up with goals in these big matches, and you know we're going to need that tomorrow. City are going to have most of the ball. A lot of our chances are going to come from Bruno playing balls over the top. We need Højlund to be running. We need Ahmad to be running. And we definitely need Rashford running in behind as well. That for me is some of the more likely ways for us to go in and try to get something out of this, because we're not going to have the ball against City. We're not going to dominate them, and we will struggle. Like I have no doubt it'll be a difficult match tomorrow. Rajat said need Dalot, Martinez, Onana, Bruno, and Højlund and Nacho to step up. Yeah, look, just got to turn up and play well. GK said summer bank holiday in England. Yeah, it's a bank holiday for Northern Ireland on Monday. I don't know what it's for, like, but there's always one like the last Monday of May, so I don't complain. It's a day off work, so can't beat it. Anyway, seeing our poll, guys, I can see we're actually kind of feeling a little bit confident, feeling a little bit positive about tomorrow's match. What's this? 55% are going to say United win. Fair play. I mean, I really hope majority are right. I know I say this every single time I put a prediction up. Like, I hope majority is going to be right in this year. I hope we're going to get the win. I hope we're going to do it. I hope we're going to get the result tomorrow. But, I mean, the season we've had, look, regardless of what happens to Erik Ten Hag, I would like us to win that tomorrow. I would love us to win it tomorrow. You know, we really need it. It's been a very hard season. It's been a very difficult season. It's not been easy to watch this club. It's not been easy to support this team at times. And yeah, look, we definitely have had times where we've absolutely dreaded seeing United taking on just about any team. You know, we struggled to beat Burnley, Sheffield United this season. And yeah, look, no European football next season's an interesting one. Well, unless we win tomorrow, that is. If we beat City, we're into Europa League, so that could be something, I guess, for next season. But I don't know. I don't know. I just want to see us turn up. I want to see us have a good result tomorrow. I really, really do. But we'll get back to the Erik Ten Hag story anyway, because I can see some people are joining in, so thanks so much for hopping on in here. Guys, if you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit the like button as well, and we will get talking again about Erik Ten Hag. So, some more stories coming out. This is coming out from Charlotte Dunker and from Hearst as well. I think they are Daily Mail. Erik Ten Hag is expected to be sacked after the FA Cup final. Kieran McKenna is waiting on Manchester United before making a decision on his next move. Chelsea's decision to part ways with Mauricio Pochettino early accelerated United's plans. Both clubs have been looking at the same pool of managers, and United feel like they've had to make a quick decision based upon that. So I knew it would. I had a suspicion that this would start a managerial merry-go-round, and the talk is that Chelsea, they could be looking to bring Tuchel back, and that does seem. It's an interesting one anyway, but I don't know. I just think it looks like Erik Ten Hag is going to be going out. It's a public humiliation. It isn't good. And whilst I think he has handled some aspects of the club and of the job badly this season, whilst I think he's frustrated at times with his with the tactics or some of his decisions, he does seem a really good man, and he does seem like he really cares about Manchester United, and he's genuinely always tried his best for our football club. It's a shame that it's going out like this. I really wish that this wasn't the case. I wish this was handled better. I wish that if we were going to make this change in manager, we did it in a week's time. We did it on Monday or whatever. Don't do it the day before an FA Cup final. I really can't I can't support this happening at this moment in time. I can't support these stories coming out at this moment in time, and we don't want to see it. This is the last thing we want. We have one match left in our season. It's been probably one of the worst seasons Manchester United have had in 30 plus years. Tomorrow's a chance to make something of this. Tomorrow's a chance to go out there and put a silver lining on a bad season. Yeah, the FA Cup's just a day out at the end of the season, but if you win it, it means a lot. And that's what we want to see. Hopefully we go out there and do it. Hopefully we go out there in spite of these stories, in spite of the reports and the leaks and everything, and we go out there and we beat City somehow. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. But we're gonna have to find out. Rajat said America have a long weekend. Chrissy said apparently Rashford is extremely motivated if performing well in training. He's trying to prove everyone wrong. Yeah, I mean, if it's motivation, it's motivation. Matata said, is the diverting technique by the old and new owners working? No, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. I think this is an INEOS decision, but I don't think the leak has come from them. I'm not sure where that's come from. USADR, Rashford has to prove he's worthy of being selected for England team. Well, he's already left out, so hopefully it's lit a fire under his ass and he's going to go out tomorrow and really turn up. If you look at Rashford's form over the last 5 seasons, he's got over 30 goals and assists in 3 out of the last 5. And in each of those seasons, he's had a long pre-season break. So the years where he's gone to international tournaments, European Championships, the World Cups and stuff, obviously not last year, but the years prior to that, he has struggled. And hopefully a long pre-season can do him well, because I think he will be at the club next year. If he can get back to form, really good. Hopefully this can be a motivation for him. Hopefully. Gregory said, my opinion, the coach sacking is a big mistake. Yeah, it's one of those. I'm not surprised. I think that this is a decision a lot of new ownerships take. They want to go in their own way. I get it. I understand it. I think it's been handled really badly. I hope this isn't INEOS putting these stories out there. I hope this has come from an agent, or if it's come from just some good journalism or whatever, or if it's come from Chelsea, who have put the story out that McKenna isn't talking to them because he wants to go to United, and that would make a lot of sense since Jacob Steinberg's a London-based journalist. That could make a lot of sense. That's what I hope this is. I hope this isn't coming from within our club, because it's really embarrassing at this moment in time. One match all season that really matters can't go out like this. Really can't. Matata, I look reluctant to blame the new owner. I'm not. I'm giving the time, buddy. I'm of the opinion that we're on a path now. We're on a long-term journey, and we're going to have to see how it unfolds. Right now, we can't see beyond ourselves, but in a year's time, maybe we'll look back on how much progress we've made. In 2 years' time, we could be going, yeah, look, this was some of the more important calls that we've made. I'm going to give it time. Rajat said, do you now go for Francisco Conceição? I don't think so, buddy. Jarl said, I think someone, not Ten Hag, will be fired at the club. He released this club. INEOS are angry that the news came out. Yeah, they definitely are. And this is nothing new. These leaks from the boardroom and from directors have been going on for a very, very, very long time. And there's always been allegations of people within the club working against other people beating out bad leagues, trying to bury people, throw people under the bus, and that's not what you want to see. And that's part of the reason why we are in the position we are. This club isn't pulling together. We don't all pull in the same direction. Some people want to go after their own agendas, and that doesn't help us, and that doesn't help Manchester United. What I think we need now is just an approach across the club, very simply, of what is best for Manchester United must be done. I think that's what we need. And if this club pulls together, this is a club of the size that can go out there and turn things around very quickly and hopefully make the kind of progress that other clubs perhaps couldn't do. That's kind of what we like. But I don't know. Tomorrow's a big one. Tomorrow's a big match. Dark Rose said, just want new players from the manager not resolved. Anyway, I think what we might do, guys, is have a little look at this Bruno Fernandes interview from earlier as well. Jarl said, I wonder if the staffer who leaked this is angry when he got one FA Cup. I mean, maybe. It's one of those, like, it could be guesswork. It could be putting 2 and 2 together. It could be looking through all that stuff. I don't know. The only person saying that Ten Hag was sacked before the Arsenal match, or told that there, was because really it's just coming from that. It's just coming from Jan Aj. I don't know. I personally am not quite buying into it, to be honest. Raja nearly sorted out. Yeah, we do. Anyway, let me have a quick look at this here, guys, because I want to go through some of Bruno's quotes, because some of them are really, really good. And it's the sort of stuff you want to see from your club captain. He says, after the difficult season, it's my responsibility to give more. It starts with me and starts tomorrow. We have to give everything in the last match against City. I would love to walk out at Old Trafford more than anything in the world. I don't ever want to leave this club. This has always been my ultimate dream. Hopefully Bruno gets to lift a trophy tomorrow. That's what we want to see. He says, as captain, I've simply tried to be myself, not no one else or no other personality, just simply me on and off the pitch, and that is everything. The fans deserve everything, and for the way you have supported us. And yeah, look, I'm hopeful for a big performance tomorrow, guys, and I'm really hoping that we can go out there and give a real good go at it. Like, I would hate for us to lose an FA Cup final in the same way we did last year. Individual errors, bad goalkeeping, some worldly goals as well. That's not what we want to see tomorrow. If we lose tomorrow, that can happen against Man City. They're probably the best team in the world. Okay, if we lose tomorrow, it has to be because we've gone out swinging. We've gone out trying our best. Chatsport said Ten Hag sacked. Yeah, that is the story coming out from Jacob Steinberg and from many other online sources as well. Ten Hag set to be sacked regardless of what happens in tomorrow's FA Cup final. Could happen tomorrow. Could happen Sunday, could happen Monday, I don't know. But that is definitely the story that is coming out. Matata said, INEOS have done the biggest blunder and it will affect us forever. I don't know, like, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. It's easy to be doom and gloom. I'm going to try to be on my back. Pretty weird. Huh. Oh, there we go. We're back. I don't know what happened there. I think it's just a bit of lag. Apologies for that there, everyone, guys. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I'll do another couple of minutes anyway, just before we wrap up. Hopefully my internet's going to hold out here. But yeah, look, this seems to be the story. It looks to be ongoing. It looks to be developing behind the scenes anyway. Let's just find out what happens with Erik Ten Hag in the next couple of days. But it does look like he's going to be sacked. It just feels demeaning. It just feels a bit embarrassing, and I really don't think he deserves it. I really don't. Anyway, what is tell me what, guys? We'll put this on to the chat. You guys can respond to it as well. What 11 are we going for tomorrow? What team do you guys want to see out there tomorrow? We'll talk about the cup final because it's a big one. It's all we got. Matata says, if we lose tomorrow, is it because of the breaking news? No, I mean, if we go out and get battered 5-0, that's because City have beat us off the pitch. If we go out and lose in penalties, it's because we missed penalties. The news out here shouldn't affect that there. Yes, Dar says, hopefully we win tomorrow for all of us. Yeah, I think that's most important. You can have your opinions on fans, on the players, on the manager, or whatever, but I think as fans, we deserve to go out there and we deserve to try win it. But guys, get your thoughts in below. Let me know, what do you want to see in tomorrow's match? Who do you want to play tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. Do we want to see Amrabat? Do we want to see Casemiro? Do we want Martinez and Varane again? Do we want to see Dallo? Do we want to see Wan-Bissaka? Rashford? Is he sort for you guys? Do you keep Ahmad on the right-hand side? Do you go McTominay up front, or do you go Højlund up front? Let me know. Get your thoughts in down below, because we'll move on, because we want to get talking about the FA Cup final. It's too big a match not to talk about. It's too much for us all to care about. So let me know. Right, Dad, I'm hoping we win 90 minutes, but I don't want penalties. That's the last thing, the very last thing that I need. Is a penalty shootout with Manchester United in a cup final. I really don't want to see that there, buddy. Anyway, on the poll, 64 votes. That's really good, guys, as well. 52% say the one we think we win. 48% say a loss. Anyway, look, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for a good performance tomorrow. I think we all are pretty much in agreement with how we win tomorrow. If we win, how we win. I think we all know that the best way to do that is to be aggressive, you know, in our own half, some aggressive defending, and get the ball forward aggressively. Try to hit City on the break, hit them in behind you. We've got Højlund, really quick, really strong runner, really fast. Not been used enough this season doing that there. You've seen it in the last 2 matches. You know, you've seen it against Brighton in the last league match. You've seen it, was it again? Who's our second last match? I actually can't even remember. Was it Newcastle? I think it might have been Newcastle. Yeah, you want to see him running with it. You want to see him used to his full strength. You know, if it's Rashford on the left, you got Pearson behind there. He scores goals against City. He does turn up. If it's Ahmad, hopefully he can do something similar. Ahmad's got pace as well. Matata said, why should Ten Hag be motivated for tomorrow? Because he should want to win the trophy for himself. You know, if not for the club, if not for the board, if not for the club who he probably feels has let him down, then he should want to do it for himself. You know, absolutely do it for him, and that's the opinion he should have. The players should go out there with the same mindset that this is an FA Cup final. It's been a bad season. The fans deserve it. They've got to turn up and they've got to do something. You know, I want us to go out at least fighting tomorrow. If we end up losing, go out fighting. Don't just go out with a whimper. Don't go out not even trying. Go out and just genuinely give it everything you got. And like that's all we can really do. Right, so it'd be very nice if we have a W. Yeah, it would be, buddy. You know, I think we really deserve it as fans anyway. It's been a hard old season. It's been difficult to watch our teams at times this year, and you know, with so many poor results. Hopefully tomorrow can put something of a shine on a very disappointing season. Guys, thanks very much for 30 likes. Will I do a watch long, says Matata? Probably not, buddy. I'm going to be going out for it, but I might do a stream tomorrow, depending on what time I get home at. Carpe's down there. I think De Zerbi could be a surprise manager. Someone has bid his release clause. De Zerbi or Poch. The puppets, if any of the question. Just going to have to find out, buddy. We're going to have to find out. Look, thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we get a big performance tomorrow as well. Big ups to the new subscribers as well, and big ups for 30 likes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good Friday night. Enjoy the cup final, and hopefully I'll get talking to you all tomorrow at some point as well. Much appreciated, guys. Have a good one. Thanks so much for joining in.